Hello, students. As you are resting at home, social distancing yourself from others due to this tragic event called coronavirus, I am trying to come up with 10 words that you can learn during this difficult time. The first word is sick. Obviously, we all know sick. Sick is when you don't feel well, when you are ill, or when you are sick. Sick. Sick is an adjective. So when you are coughing, when you are sneezing, okay, these are symptoms that let you know you are sick. Now, sick can have a slang language. When you travel to a dealership to buy a vehicle or a car, and you see a car that is very good looking, you say, oh man, that car is sick. So when something is sick, it can mean it looks extremely good. Or you say, man, that man is sick, that person is sick. So that sick can mean that person is a bad person, okay? So sick, which is an adjective. Symptom. Symptom is a noun. Symptoms are sign or anything that can make a person feeling sick or ill. Symptom. Symptom can mean evidence that show why something happened. Okay. For example, you feel like you have a cold. So when you have a cold, well, maybe you coughing, maybe your nose is running, and you do like this, or you sneezing, achoo. So these are the symptoms. If I have a headache, my head starts to feel hurt. I feel not comfortable. So those are the symptoms of a headache. Social distancing. Social distancing have two words, so these are called phrasal noun. Social distancing is a way to separate or to stay apart or away from other people. Social distancing. Social distancing. Epidemic. Epidemic. This word is pronounced epidemic. Epidemic is a noun. Well, this word means something that happened at the moment. Epidemic is not as big as pandemic. Okay, so epidemic more likely a problem that can affect many people, like for example, Zika or Ebola. These are epidemics that happened in the past several years. But when something that is growing out of control to many countries at one time is become a pandemic. Pandemic is similar to epidemic, but pandemic describe illness or sickness that happen to many people or country at one time. Okay, like the H1N1 in 2018 and H1N1 in 2009. So think about epidemic and pandemic. Pandemic is a bigger problem. Panic. Panic is a verb, or it can be a noun. Panic is a feeling of fear or anxiety or distress or uneasiness. All of these words are synonyms of the word panic. When people feel uncomfortable, when people worried about something, they panic. So because of the pandemic of the coronavirus, people begin to panic. They feel worried. So they do many things like everybody go to the same store to buy many things at one time. So that is panic. So when you panic, you feel very stressed, you feel overwhelmingly worried about something. So panic, okay? So panic when you feel you have a certain worried about something, okay? Quarantine. Quarantine is a practice of social distancing, but quarantine more likely when the government is in charge of the situation. For example, when you are sick or you have symptoms of the pandemic of corona, then you need to make sure that you quarantine by staying at home for certain days. Normally is required by the government, or you can do it by yourself, but quarantine most likely is controlled by the government. For example, when you get off the airplane and you feel like you have a flu-like symptom, then the government, the airplane representative will ask you to visit a quarantine quarter within the airport to ensure that your treatment of illness or sickness is treated before you've been released to the outside. Quarantine. Okay? Limit. Limit is a verb or it can be a noun. Limit means how much or how many of something is allowed. For example, you are driving and there's a sign that say the speed limit of 30 miles per hour. Or because we have an epidemic or pandemic and the stores limit customers to buy 2 bottles of water each time they come in, or they can limit how much food they can buy, or they can limit their activities outside. So when something is limit or something have limit, people are not allowed to do certain things. So limit, okay? Virus. Virus is a noun. Virus is a very, very, very small organization. We do not see virus. So because they are very microscopic organism. So in order to see the virus, we have to use microscope, which is a small tool that allows us to see very tiny small organism that can cause disease or illnesses to people. Remember, when you feel sick, you feel not well or ill. Okay, so illnesses or sicknesses mean the same thing as being sick. Okay, so when people have virus, most likely they have illness or they have sickness due to a virus or a bacteria infection. Okay. The next word is contagious. Well, when you are sick, okay, you are sick with a cold, you are sick with a flu, you're sick with stomach virus, anything related to virus or bacteria, it can be contagious. Contagious is an adjective, which means it can pass on to another person. So when I have a virus like the coronavirus, then if I'm not careful, I can pass this illness called coronavirus to another person. So when one illness is passed to another person, then it is called contagious. Contagious means infection. It can be infected from one person to another person. So be able to pass from one person or thing to another person or thing. So these are the 10 vocabulary words that we can practice during social distancing or self quarantine due to the issues of coronavirus. Coronavirus is a pandemic and is a phenomenon. A phenomenon is an event that can affect many people at one time. So repeat these words with me: sick, symptom, social distancing, epidemic, pandemic, panic, quarantine, limit, virus, contagious. Now, so I want to see if you can use the sentence with me with the vocabulary words. I am sick because I was working too many hours. I did not have enough rest. Well, because I work too much, then I am sick because I don't have energy. Okay? So if you don't want to be sick, you need to make sure that you eat, have plenty of rest, have vitamins, have nutrients in your body. Symptom: Lisa sneezes. Achoo! Her nose is running. That's Rose running. She has high temperature. Oh, I'm so hot. These are the symptoms of a flu that Lisa has. Symptom: social distancing. The government asked people to practice social distancing during coronavirus. Social distancing, meaning separating yourself from other people. Epidemic: the influenza epidemic of 1918 killed over 15 million people. Pandemic: the current pandemic of coronavirus has affected many people. Pandemic. Businesses and countries. The current pandemic of coronavirus has affected many people, businesses, and countries. Panic: many people have panicked over the coronavirus pandemic. Remember, panic, the original verb of panic is P-A-N-I-C. However, when we pronounce, we say panic, not panics. So we need to add the K to the verb when it's in the past or present or past progressive or past participle. So panic's pronounced with P-A-N-I-C, but when we change to past participle or simple past or past progressive or present progressive, we have to add the K, so the pronunciation of the word panic can be pronounced with K, not S. So panicked. Okay? Quarantine: the government of many countries asks people to quarantine themselves until the coronavirus is over. The government of many countries asks people to quarantine themselves until the coronavirus is over. Limit: many stores limit how many bottles of water people can buy. Limit. Next, virus. A virus is very small and people cannot see it. However, it is alive and can hurt us. Virus. Contagious: a common cold can be contagious or spread to people if they are not careful. Okay, if they are not careful. So see how I use the words in a sentence for each of the words that I share with you. Sick, symptom, social distancing, epidemic, pandemic, panic, quarantine, limit, virus, contagious. Okay? Now, see if you can use these words: sick, symptom, social distancing, epidemic, pandemic, panic, quarantine, limit, virus, contagious in sentences in these pictures. Okay? So if you can do this for me, look at picture 1, picture 2, picture 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So see if you can match the words with the picture. Okay? So let's see if you can match them. Number 1, if you think virus, then you are correct. Or you can use the word pandemic if you want to, because, okay? Number 2, you can use sick, because this person is sick. 3, this can mean social distancing, because even though they are close, but they are separating themselves by the wall. Social distancing. This one, contagious. As you can see here, one person have illness, it can spread to another person by shaking their hand. So during this time, don't shake hand. This person have a cold. She is sneezing. Achoo! Her throat is hurt. I cannot talk. She had cough. She has watering eye. That means her eye has water. She has low-grade fever. You see? She's trying to measure her temperature in the mouth. And her nose is running. She's using the towel to wipe her nose. So these are signs or symptom of cold. Number 6, 40. If you say limit, then you are correct. Number 7, you see here, people in long line at a grocery store trying to buy food. They are panicking because of the pandemic of coronavirus. They are worried, so they're in line to try to get in the store to buy food. This is panicking. Number 8. Well, as you can see here, the doctor are checking people temperature to make sure they are not sick. So this can be quarantine. Okay, quarantine. Number 9. So this can mean the virus. Okay, this can mean the virus, but this mean right here is the outbreak, which is the pandemic. And number 8, this is the mosquito. So mosquito has affected many people. I think it's called the Zika virus. So we can call this epidemic, okay? So if you have all 10 correct, then you are perfect, excellent. Now, see if you can match the words again. Sick, symptom, social distancing, epidemic, pandemic, quarantine, limit, virus, contagious in the sentences here. John has a backache. He cannot stand too long. Cannot standing too long is a blank of his backache. Backache means the back of your body is really hurt. Your backache. Stomach virus is blank because it can spread or infect people. Spread means travel to people by air or by touching. Na and Chang are not blank because they are very healthy. So when they are healthy, they are not ill. They feel very good. They don't have the virus. Anna, Arendina, and Maria are worried about the blank of the coronavirus 19 because they do not know when this infection will be over. Many stores have many bags of rice and cases of water people can buy because there's a shortage of these supplies. Many store blank how many bags of rice and cases of water people can buy because there is a shortage of these supplies. Please do not or be afraid or worry too much about this pandemic, advised the doctor. Please do not or be afraid or worry too much about this pandemic, advised the doctor. Number 7. I knew I had a blank when I started feeling crummy and running nose. Feeling crummy means I don't feel really good. I feel tinky inside. I feel a little uncomfortable. Please report to the blank room over there, said the airline representative. We need to check your temperature and document your travel history. In 1888, there was an blank of yellow fever that killed 427 people. It was not considered as a pandemic. In 1988, there was an blank of yellow fever that killed 427 people. It was not considered a pandemic. People practice during the time of coronavirus because they do not want to be infected or contagious with the disease. Okay? So if you can fill in the blank with these words that match the sentences. Pause the video and match them and see how many you are correct. So if you say number 1, symptom, then you are correct. Number 2, stomach virus can be contagious or people can have it if one person has it. Nan and Chan are not sick because they are healthy. Number 4, Anna, Arendina, and Maria are worried about the pandemic, which is a big illness that can affect many people at one time all over the world. Limit, many store limit how many you can and how many you cannot. Number 6, please do not panic or be afraid or worried. Number 7, I knew I had a virus. Number 8, please report to the quarantine room. Number 9. Now remember, there was an epidemic, okay? An epidemic. Number 10, people practice what? Social distancing. Social distancing. If you have all 10 correct, you are amazing. Now, I have put these words into a paragraph and see if you can be able to practice writing the paragraph similar to mine. So I titled this story An Unfortunate Phenomenon. A phenomenon is an event when something really bad or something can really good happen to people. In the situation of coronavirus, this phenomenon is unfortunate. Unfortunate means it's bad, it's unlucky. Okay, so I'm going to read the story for you and look at the vocabulary words and see how I use the words in context with the story. Now, I have 2 sentences that I highlight. The first sentence is green. This sentence here. This sentence here is called a topic sentence. Topic sentence. Well, you begin with the story. The story has a topic. This is the topic. The topic is the title, the name of a story. So the topic of this story is called Unfortunate Phenomenon. So the first sentence here is called the topic sentence. Then this sentence here is called the supporting details. Supporting details. And the last sentence here, this is when I close. Well, here I open, I introduce my story. I want to let people know what I will talk about. Here I will have to describe my story based on this. Now I finish my story and I need to end my story, okay? So first sentence, topic sentence. Last sentence, closing or concluding sentence. People around the world has faced or experienced a tragic or horrible phenomenon or event. Remember, when something is tragic or when something is horrible, it means bad. This phenomenon has known to many people as the coronavirus 19 because it's actually happened in 2019. People who have coronavirus begin feeling sick and they begin to develop or have more symptoms like having a cold or cannot breathe. The World Health Organization, or WHO, called this phenomenon as a pandemic because the virus has spread so quickly to many countries on the globe. Coronavirus is not an epidemic because it has spread over a wide area, which is now known as pandemic. During this difficult time, people are asked to quarantine at home and practice social distancing so the virus will not spread or be contagious to other people. In addition, governments around the world have asked people to limit being outside. Don't go outside. In addition, people are advised not to be panicked or don't be worried, don't cause a panic, don't confuse many people, but be caution, basically be careful about the situation. Even though the heart trending is the same thing as horrible or tragic, means something that is bad. So tragic, horrible, heart trending means something that is bad. So again, even though the heart trending of the coronavirus phenomenon has caused inconveniences. Inconveniences means you cannot do many things because of the coronavirus. It's not good for you. People are optimistic that this event will be over soon and they can resume their normal livelihood. Resume means you can go back and do and restart living your life. Resume. So let's say you stopped doing something yesterday and you return doing something again. So that's resume. Resume means to return back to normal. Okay, so I wrote this story using the words that I introduced in a stories and to help you understand the words better. So remember, a story must have a topic or a title. You begin writing with a topic sentence, and then you need to make sure that you have ideas to support it. We call supporting details. And then we close the story with a closing sentence or concluding sentence. So this is a short essay or a short paragraph or a short story. And this story is called non-fiction because the story is real. Okay? So I'm just trying to support you with words that you can learn during this short time. Again, sick, symptom, social distancing, epidemic, pandemic, panic, quarantine, limit, virus, and contagious. This is Dr. Howard.